Happy Monday, everybody. Happy Monday.
What's up?
What up, Mr. Puma?
What's going on?
Just making it happen. You're going to see an intrusion in a few minutes of a few kiddos. We're going to Kai's pep prep first grade meet the teacher moment this morning. So that's what'll be happening. So I'll be the limo driver shortly, but it's just us right now until they join in. So yeah, I hope everybody had a great and getting on the new schedule.
That's it.
All right, so we're gonna have a little fun today. And we're gonna have a lot of fun. And I hope you guys are awake and not feeling very sensitive today. Because and happy Motivational Monday. So we'll see, Lauren, at the end of this one. Because guys, look, all of us care so much about you guys. And when you come to work here, you've got all of these just visions and desires and pushing, and we create nothing but tools for you guys to make it happen. So the whole puzzle is laid out in front of you. Like we got an amazing market. We've got an awesome brand. We've got leadership people that care more than you could possibly even know. You've got every tool system in front of you. So there's nothing missing, right? But is there? So Friday, Mike and I had a call with some agents, and the topic came up about, hey, I really need to make a little bit more money, right? And I hear a lot, right? And I see a lot just from being around and doing this thing for a while. I hear doubt or fear or anxiety and disbelief, right, in some of the words, and I can smell it. So when this came up, we were like, uh-oh, let's have a little conversation, right? So Mike and I were talking last night, and we said, all right, let's build on that conversation for Friday. So, Mike, you put it the best, I think. It's you're either interested in something or committed to something. Yep. So let's frame with that before we go in, because we're going to go some very super tactical things today, that there's zero excuse not to have a listing by Friday, right, at the end of today. So let's talk about the differences between the two.
Yeah, I mean, I think the very clear difference is if I'm interested in something, it simply means the thought of it is nice. I like it. If I'm able to get it without too much effort or disruption, I will. But the difference between being committed to something is it doesn't matter what's in front of me. It doesn't matter what it takes to get it. I'm going to do it, right? And I'm going to make it happen because there is no other option. And when there becomes there is no other option, right? How many of you have ever been between multiple cars, right? You're looking at a couple different options and you like both of them. That is the difference. That means you're interested, right? You're interested in those cars. You're not committed to one. If you were committed to one, you would go with that one and there would be no other option, right? And that's the point we kind of need to get to with everything in our life, but especially if we want to go and make money and hit a certain goal or hit a certain deal or whatever your why is. If you're going to hit your why, if you are not committed to it, you will not do it.
Mike Clayman wrote it. It's like breakfast. You're choosing from the menu. It's like dating. Those of you who are in the dating world, right? Same thing. You're interested, but you don't get.
Yep, exactly. It's like the first date compared to the 7th, right? You're not committed to anything yet on that first date. You're interested. You wouldn't be on the date if you weren't, but you're not committed to that. You're not ready. You're not ready to say, hey, let's do this exclusively, right? So that's the difference. I mean, and there are things that the part where this gets hard is sometimes the line isn't very clear. Sometimes we lie to ourselves. And that to me is the biggest thing that holds people back, is a lot of times we say we're committed to something because we think we should be. Somebody else wants us to be committed to it. it sounds like something we should be committed to, but you're not, right? You're just not. And if you dig deep enough, you're going to figure that out. So the goal is stop lying to yourself, stop the BS, and have a real conversation with yourself. And this is not easy. I'm making it sound easy. It's not easy. And I struggle with it at times. I know you do. Like we all do. We all struggle with these things. But I will say this, the better you can get and the deeper you can have that conversation with yourself and figure out what are you actually committed to? Like, what do you, not anyone else, what do you really want to have happen? And when you get crystal clear on that, it's over. It's game over.
Right, because here's what you're committed to right now. Exactly what you have.
Yeah.
Because you are doing exactly what it takes to have exactly what you have. Right? You are doing the effort that creates a bank account that looks like your bank account. You are creating the life. You're doing the energy. You're putting in the energy to create the outcome to keep a level of debt that you currently have now because you had it last month and the month before and the year before too. So you're consistent, right, with what you're doing and you're okay with it. Because if you weren't okay with it, you wouldn't be in that situation, right? I'll here, perfect scenario. I should drop some weight. I know that. I think it's a good idea to do that. But I also just housed an English muffin that had Gouda cheese on it and a hard-boiled egg. And next to it, I didn't have that, but I did that. You know why I did that? Because I wanted to, right? And I'm okay with that because that was my decision this morning. Puma did not do that. He probably ate a twig, right? Because he's fine with that. And it, whatever it is, what it is. But I did the action that created the result that I'm totally okay with because I love it, right? It's fine. But a good example, very clear.
Well, just to clarify, I did not eat a twig this morning.
Maybe a piece of grass wrapped around the twig or something fancy, frou bougie like you are. But you get
yes, but that is a valid point, right? But again, when Jeff does get committed to that, if he decides to, it will be game over.
Over, yeah, of course.
Right? Like so, but that's a great example. But that's the thing, right? Is he can't lie to himself. He can't say, yeah, no, I'm really committed to doing that, and then turn around and eat the English muffin with all the stuff. Like that doesn't work. And that's honestly, that's the biggest parallel to what I see in this industry, where your actions do not map to your ambition. It does not map to the words coming out of your mouth, right? You can't sit there and tell Chris as your manager that you want to do 24 deals this year and then not prospect at all today, right? Well, those actions don't map to what you're saying. So the biggest thing is figure out what you actually want and then map your behavior to it. And that's really what we want to get into today. If you truly want a listing by the end of the week, it can happen, but you're going to have to map your behavior to it. So the question is, are you committed to getting a listing by the end of the week, or are you interested in getting a listing by the end of the week? And there's a big difference. And the ones that are interested are probably not going to get it. And the ones that are committed to it will absolutely have at least one listing by the end of the week.
That's right. And you know what? You trick your brain. How many of you want, show of hands, how many of you guys want a listing by the end of the week? I really want a new listing by the end of the week. All right, hands are going up. How many are willing to sweat your butt off to get told no, to have a door slammed on you, have people write back nasty things on your text messages, for people to totally dish you and reject you along the way throughout now and Friday, right? If there was a hands down button, they'd start to down, right? Because it's not fun, but that's the reality, guys, of what it actually is, right? You're going to have to do things that are uncomfortable, right? The things that you don't want to do because of doubt, fear, and anxiety. That's, I mean, fact, total fact. Because here's the thing, when this came up on our call last week, every one of you, if I would call every one of you out right now, every single one of you knows what it takes to get a listing by Friday. There's not a secret. There's not one thing you don't know. The more people you talk to, the more money you make. The more people you talk to, the more listings you have. The more listings you have, the more money you make. Therefore, the more people you talk to, the more money you make. Fact, right? That's an indisputable fact. That's just the way it is. Now, talking to, you know how to do that too. You can follow Mike's daily marketing guide and actually have to talk to nobody except for banter back and forth until you get to an appointment, right? Or you could do what other people do, go bang on doors. Now that sucks for a lot of you, I agree. You can make a bunch of phone calls. That sucks for a lot of you too, right? You can do all kinds of different things, but you know what to do. You know what to do. You know, if you banged on 500 doors this week, someone's going to give you a listing. You know, if you just made phone calls, someone's going to say, funny you called, I'm thinking about selling. You know that if you went to expired, someone's going to say, oh, interesting, we're thinking about interviewing people. You know, if you went to enough FSBOs, they'd say, God, we're getting tired of this. You know this. This is not anything new, okay? So where's the switch from I know what to do and I really, really want it to the fact that you haven't done anything, right? Because you had this weekend. How many contacts did you make? Right? What did you do this weekend? How many sacrifices did you make in your personal schedule to talk to people to get you closer to an appointment for today and tomorrow? It's an honest question, guys. It's rhetorical. I don't need your answer, but I need you to answer to yourself. How many people did you talk to on Friday? How many physical conversations did you have with new people that you don't know on Thursday and Wednesday and Tuesday and Monday? You were interested in getting a listing last week too. And you had all the tools in front of you last week also, right? But there's a switch, right? So where is that switch, right? How do we get that switch going? Is it pain or is it pleasure? Or is it a combination of both, right? Where is it? Where is the pain? Where's the switch that moves you from interested to committed? What do you think that is? Where do you find that leverage, Bill?
Honestly, I think we've said it a million times. I think you have got to know what you're going to do with the money. You have to have a need for it. If you do not, I don't think you're going to earn it. You just won't, right? But if you say, hey, and it's not about the money, but it is, right? It's not about the money to necessarily go buy things, but it is, what am I doing with this? Is this money going to relieve pressure? Is this money going to help me to be able to keep my wife home from having to work? Is this money going to be able to help go towards a down payment of a investment property, which will then feed my long-term goal of being able to have whatever it is? That money can provide freedom and happiness if you know what makes you happy. So it all circles back to the why, right? So I've said that a million times, and maybe it's controversial. I truly believe money can buy happiness if you know what makes you happy, right? Because I don't care what it is. If you want to sit around and garden all day because that's what makes you happy, there are still bills and funding that has to happen. So money buys that, right? So if you know what you're going to do with that money, and it is a true commitment of that goal or that thing, you will do it, right? But you have to have a purpose for it. If it's just extra and it doesn't mean anything to you, you are not going to earn it. You're just not. It's too easy it's too easy to do nothing. It's too easy to do what you did last week. It's too easy to take the other way.
Right. And look, everything we buy with emotions and we justify with logic, right? So the thing that money can't buy happiness is not true at all, because money creates options, right? That's all it does. It gives you options in life. And those options allow you to do things that create feelings. That's it. So money equals feelings is really the root of it all. And what kind of feeling do you actually want to have? Maybe you want to be a contributory master and a philanthropic god to your church or to your school or to your neighborhood, or build a playground or do some cool thing. It takes cash, but it makes you feel good when you see something. Maybe you want to provide a good opportunity for your kids or your grandkids and be able to afford them an education to give them the best shots in life, right? That feels good, but you only get that feel good feeling if you have the money to be able to do that. Amber wants a boat. You know what? She doesn't want a boat. She wants the feeling of wind blowing through her hair and sun beating down on her shoulders, laughing with their friends, enjoying her life gives her a feeling of freedom and fun, right? That's what she likes about having a boat. I know you're talking about the song, but I ran with it. But that's the whole point, right? Is it's the feelings that you get. So the feelings that we have right now are a direct result of the activity you did 45 days ago.
But to back up real quick, right? So on the boat thing, this is a great example. So I want a boat. Okay, that's a great start. But now we have to drill down, because in order to actually build commitment to something, we have to get contextual to it. So what does that mean? Because a boat is too broad. You could go buy a rowboat, right? Or you could go buy the boat you sent me the other day, which I can't stop thinking about now. And it could be a $3 million yacht, right? So what is it? What's that boat? What does it look like? What color is it? What are you going to name it? Right? So now we start getting into the primary aim conversation, which we've had a million times, but it's important. So even if you're not going to map out 5 years, because some of you, that gets very difficult and the brain doesn't work for you that way, that's okay. But when you say, I want a boat, or I want this, or I want to buy an investment property, what type of property? How much is it actually going to cost? What's the level of income it's going to generate, right? Like, get contextual, because the more details you can get, the better you're actually going to start to contextualize that in your brain. It's going to become more real and everything will start to align to it. But when we just say generic things, that doesn't, it's a good start, but it's not going to help. It's not going to get you committed.
Well,
right?
And let's look at that process for a second, right? Because I want another boat, right? I do, but I don't want it now. But I'm interested in them and I'm looking at them, right? And I actually physically took the time to go to the place where the boat I was interested in is, and actually go to see it and smell it and feel it and conceptualize it and visualize it and actually decide whether or not I really wanted it or not, right? Because the idea, I really still want the idea, because I want, you know what I want? Time, freedom, and enjoyment with my kids, and really cool experiences of travel and just fun, right?
Yep.
I want fun and peace. And that translates into time and experiences and locations and destinations. That's how we trick ourselves, right? I could do the same thing in a whole bunch of different vessels, right? But there's one that's caught my attention, so I went to look at it. It costs a lot of money, but then I figured out how much money is it really? And how do you finance these? And how much is it down in order to do so? What would the monthly payments be? What is the monthly maintenance cost? What would it cost to actually own this and feel this and have this thing? Because it's a lot more than you think, right? But you got to go through that process and that checklist. So I know clearly that in order to get that, I don't even think I really want that, because I want something different now. But I wouldn't know that unless I went through this process, right? Well, let's say I really wanted that one. Now I know exactly how much money I need to have down. I know what my monthly nut is going to be on it. I know what my monthly payments are going to, I know what it's going to cost to fuel the beast, right? I know all of that stuff. So that's a checkbox, right? When I want to pull the trigger, I know it has to happen to cause me to be able to pull the trigger. I don't want it right now. I want it in probably 4 or 5 years from now, because I've got things in the process that are going to take me 4 or 5 years to accomplish. And then I want to do that. But you see the process that we go through in order to know it. So now I know. And then we've all been working closely enough together to know that you don't just buy something. You buy something that spins off cash to allow you to go buy something. So from my perspective, it costs X dollars per month. Now my mission is, I've got 4 years. What kind of cash can I accumulate to buy assets that spit off enough cash flow to pay for that, so I don't even have to worry about it, right? And that gives a freedom of not only experiences, but also lack of pressure because of cash flow. So now I'll trade my hours for dollars to trade my dollars in for assets that'll allow me the freedom of feeling later in the future, right? And that's the same thing with cutting up that stupid ass Visa card, paying off the student debt, making sure you have your emergency fund, making sure that you've got a house, right? That's yours, that no one can take from you. Nobody can raise your rent on you. It's works. Or if it's not where you want to be, then where do you want to be? Right? Excuse me. I decided to just choke. So, but that's the whole point, is what is the why and where do we go, right?
And the best part is you don't have to do this by yourself, right? You know, we say all the time with your clients, if you ignore them during the dreaming phase, they're going to ignore you during the buying phase. Well, it's the same thing with your managers, right? And we're not going to ignore you. We're here to dream with you. If you have a dream, something you're working towards, some type of goal, share it with them. Share it with your manager, share it with me, share it with Jeff, share it with somebody. Because I promise you, if you want to be held accountable, and that's a big if you want to be held accountable, we're here as your business partners to do that, right? And we're here to help you. And so if that is, hey, if you need help getting that extra push, if you need that reminder of why you're doing this, right? There are a few people that I know that do it better than Chris Reed. So if you're in Apollo Beach and you're not sharing your mission with him, especially if you're struggling to hit it, you should be. But that goes for all of our managers and everyone on our leadership team. We're here to help. So you're not going through this by yourself. We all have dreams. I share myself with Jeff all the time. He tells me what he's working towards. That's how I saw the boat the other day. Like because now if I know what he's working towards and we're on the same team, now we're more aligned than ever, right? Because I know what he's going after, he knows what I'm going, and now we can really help each other get there versus us just trying to do it by ourselves. So you have all the support in the world to do it, plus all the training, plus all the tools, plus, so there's no excuse. We can all accomplish anything we want. I truly believe that.
So let's uncover and expose the simplicity of getting a listing this week, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right. So here's the deal. How many of you will do what it takes to make sure you have one more listing in inventory by Friday that you don't know where it's coming from today? All right. Show of hands. Give me some comments back. I need to know that you guys are committed, or I'm just going to turn it off and go do something else because I don't want to waste my breath, right? Because we got to make sure we've got the commitment saying, I will do what it takes. And we're going to give you a whole bunch of things, a whole bunch of different ways to get an inventory, get some new inventory this week. And that's the name of the game. Now, if you need cash, I'm going to be the guy. I'm going to tell you that you need a listing. You do not need a buyer. If you need cash, you do not need a buyer. Buyer is going to suck cash from you for a while. You're going to buy them lunch. You're going to buy gas. You're going to do you're going to aggravate yourself, right? So I don't like aggravation in my life. I don't like friction in my life. I like to go get shit done, right? So let's go get some done. Number one, if you want a listing, here's the question you ask yourself. There's probably in every one of our marketplaces, 200 listings will come on the market this week. Ballpark. In every one of our markets. Who are they? I really want you to get into this thought process for a second. What kind of person? Because they're about to make the decision. Some have already made the decision, and some are just in the process of interviewing and almost there to make the decision. They're very interested in selling. They haven't committed yet, but they're in the process. Very few people wake up and say, "What? House is on the market, let's go." Right? It's an emotional process that takes getting stuff in line to get ready to go. So who are the people who are most likely to put their house on the market this week? And chime in. I want to of your predictions because I want to go through. These are lead sources. These are prioritized lead sources because I don't like to waste time. You don't like to waste time. So if we're going to spend our time talking to people, who should we talk to today? Who's most likely to put their house on the market? FSBOs, buyers, withdrawals, canceled, divorce guys. Yes, 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 and yes. Keep going. Give me some more. Amber is the coming, the death. Yeah.
Someone had to say it. Someone had to say it.
Someone true. And folks that have been on the fence. People are moving for a job, Chris. Good job, right? So this is the point. Upsizing or downsizing. Yes, people. Those are people that are in the process. They've been thinking about upsizing, downsizing, but there's a catalyst that'll happen this week that'll say, "Do it. We found that house over on Oak Street. It's available. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Put it on the market. Let's go." Right. So you're right on. So let's take them. Let's take one by one, and I'm going to tell you what I would do, and I know Puma will tell you kind of what he's going to do. First things I would do is say, okay, expired listings are always my number one choice, right? There's a lot of them because people were listing properties for whatever the seller said. They listed for 42 days, 30 days, 60 days at stupid high prices, and it's not happening. Canceled listings, Lauren, absolutely. Unconditionally withdrawn and expireds. Okay, let's lump them into one section. These are guys who have already made the emotional decision, have put things in motion, and have decided to sell their home. Now, they chose a company / agent that didn't get it done, or allowed them to do things that were not in their best interest, like price it way too high, or have some bad terms, or maybe they just had a crappy description. Maybe they didn't stage it. Maybe it looks like crap. Doesn't matter what it is, and you don't even need to care about what it is. But you now have an address, right, of a property that have people living inside of it that have made a decision to move. Does it get any better than that to start with? No. You don't have to walk people through a process or hold their hand. That's done, right? So pounce on expireds, pounce on withdrawn, pounce on unconditionally withdrawn. It's like a literal pouncing, like get to their butts, right? Like get there right now. I got a little Kai James Beggins entering in the back here. So, but pounce, like how do we do that? So 123 Lemon Street expired, or it's an unconditional withdrawn, or whatever it is. I now have their name. I can go into, let's go through the process. Walk through with me. I'm going to first go into public records. I'm going to see who owns that property. And that's what I'm going to do. I may go into Remine. I may go into RPR. I mean, all the tools that we've paid for already that are sitting at the touch of your thumb. And I would go in there and I'd say, oh, it's Bob and Shirley Smith. They own the house on Lemon Street. It expired, it withdrawn, it was canceled, whatever it may be. Done, right? God, I wish I had a tool that I could find their phone number, email address, or something. Man, oh man, what would I possibly use? Anybody want to chime in on this one? How would I find their phone number? Anybody? Forewarned, thank you, Lauren. So now I've got their name, I've got their address, I've got all of their MLS descriptions, I got everything they want. Now I have their phone number and I have their address because they're probably locally in my market. Okay, so now what do? I can call them. I could go bang on their door. I can go. What's most effective? Let's talk about how committed are you to actually getting to something happen this week right now? Are you better off on a voicemail, or are you better off face to face? Let's talk about communication for a second. You've got 73855, right? You have your words, you have your body language, you have your tonality. The only time you have that is actually face to face, right? When you can actually mirror and match and get together with them and help them out and figure out how to connect with them the best way that you can. So if you're committed, you're going to go see them, right? And if you're really committed, you're going to go there in the morning. And if they're not home, you're going to go there in the afternoon. And if they're not home, you're going to go there in the evening. And if they're not home, you're going to go there in the later evening. And you're going to send them a video text, and you're going to phone call them, and you're going to drop a note at the front door, right? That's when you're committed. Or if you're half-ass committed, you're going to say, well, I called him and nobody answers, right? And then you're going to go on and complain that you don't have enough money in your bank, right? Your choice. You guys, you know what I'm talking about. You're going to be committed to make it happen, or you're going to let it say that you pretended that you tried, right? And all of us are guilty of that. We've all done it. This is not a pig. This is a reality check. How committed are you? How many expireds are going to hit the market? How many expireds could you find today if you dug into Matrix and dug through expired recently in the last 30, 60, 90 days that have not relisted their home? You would be so busy with just that one. With just that one, go into their door, do a video text, make a phone call, put a personal note on their front door, do the things you actually have to do to make that thing happen. Okay, there's just one. That's an expired listing. That's a canceled listing, or that's an unconditionally withdrawn. Okay, so there's one. That would keep you so busy this week. It's physically impossible for you not to get business by doing just that one activity. And we've got a whole bunch more we're going to hit. What do you have to say about that? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, 100%. And I do think that the video text on top of it all is crucial if you do not get a hold of them, right? And if you really want to do it right, and you can put it in your schedule, I would do a video text from outside their house with their house in the background, and you send it to them right from the street. But if you can't squeeze that in, there's too many, whatever, you want to hit the number, even just a generic one that's you just saying hi, putting a face to the name, and explaining kind of why you want to chat with them. I think that is crucial, but I promise you they will watch that, right? Because there's no shot that as a human being, we're going to get that text message and be like, somebody send me a video. No, I'm not going to hit play. I don't know. I'm not going to. They're going to hit play because human nature is going to take over. They have to know what it says, right? And so then it's a matter of, are you going to connect with them or not? So that's, that's a whole nother level. But
I want to time out. I want to rewind for just a second, because you just gave them an out, right? And I want to make sure you guys don't have outs. So if this is going to be the lane you're going to commit to going to this week, there's no, I didn't have time to go to their house. That's bullshit, right? There is 50 of them you're going to commit to seeing this week, and go see 10 of them today. Get on Google Earth, Google Maps, and map your route, and then go see them. Oh, but I got to drop my kids off. Well, then drop them off and then go. You got a couple hours to go knock it out. You can go in front of 10 houses a day. You could, if you're committed to doing it and saying, hey, it's Jeff. I was hoping to catch you home, but you weren't there, right? And the reason I want to talk to you is I really want to interview for the job to get your property sold, to see what's on the market. And I've got a couple really good ideas and a couple questions for you. Please shoot me back a text with a good time and we can connect. And I'll try you again later. Hopefully I catch you at home. Have a great day. Bye. Right. And then I'm going to have a link to my Moxie on there too, so they can click that and read my bio, see my photos, see my listings, watch my listing presentation video, make me look like the rock star that I am, and it cost me $0. Zippo. And I just made a hell of an impression. And maybe it's not going to work on one, but there's nothing that works with one, right? This is a sales, guys. It's a numbers game. That's why you go to 50 of these this week. It's impossible not to get a listing. Even if you threw up on their front doorstep, one of them's going to feel sorry for you and give you the listing. So you got do it, right? Are you committed is the question. Just that one attack, just that one. Expired, cancels, withdrawn. Right. That's that one. Let's go to another source.
yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of for sale by owners, and I think that is a huge lane opportunity again. Obviously, it went away or got very hard there for a little bit over the last 18 to 24 months, because it did become very easy for a lot of these people just to stick a sign in the yard and it would sell, right? They could pay $100, have someone put it in the MLS, and we all know that worked for a good period of time, right? There wasn't a lot that had to be done. Now, I would very much still argue that a lot of them got taken advantage of, because when 37 offers came in on that house and they're unrepresented, it takes a lot of skill and expertise, as you guys know, to go through multiple offers and actually figure out which one is the best one, where I think a lot of them probably just went with whatever the easiest or what appeared to be the easiest deal was or the highest price, which isn't always the best offer, right? But those days are gone in most markets. And so now it is going to take more skill to sell the house. It is going to take more effort. And so they're going into this super confident. And then maybe a week goes by, 2 weeks goes by, 3 weeks go by, and they don't have 37 offers on the house like he told his wife he was going to have. And that's when that conversation starts happening. But you said this was going to sell. The argument started ensuing, and next thing you know, now they've got to get this thing done, right? And so that's where it takes consistency. But if you show up without commission breath, if you show up, you leverage the for sale by owner guide and let them know, like, the whole point of that guide is to say, hey, not trying to get the listing today, right? But here's a guide that's going to help you. These are all the things that I start with when I represent a home, and I hope it helps you. And really the whole purpose of that is to show them how much it actually takes to sell a home in a normal market, right? And so that's going to become overwhelming for them, and that's when they're going to turn. But if you're bringing value, you're going to be their first phone call. And then the other side of that too is approach it, be honest with them, right? Especially for those that are working in that neighborhood, I would have no problem shooting them a video text and saying, hey, listen, I'm going to be very honest with you. I sell a lot of homes in this neighborhood. And so what your home sells for selfishly impacts me and my other clients. So I have a vested interest in making sure your home sells for the most amount of money possible. And the worst thing that could happen for me personally is that you take a deal that you shouldn't take, because it's going to lower the comps for all my other clients. So If I can help in any way to get you the most amount of money possible for your home, selfishly, it's going to help me on all these other deals. Let's chat, right? Something as simple as that, where you're honest about why you're going after them, and it can be a selfish need, you're going to get traction. So again, it's a numbers game, but I truly believe that is a lane that we need to start hitting again.
That's an amazing lane because they've already made the decision to sell, right? Emotionally, they've gone through the checklist. They physically, mentally, in their mind packed their boxes. And that's a huge thing. Now, like you just said, the sale with a FSBO is not the you suck, you're dumb, I'm smarter, I'm better, you're an idiot. That will not work, right? It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Your goal is to, I want to be your plan B, right? And in the meantime, I'm going to help you every way I can in your plan A. I'll look at your contracts for you. Use my title company. I'll help you with the home inspectors. Let me be your signing board. I don't want a penny from you. I'll help you. If and when the time comes you think you need to go to another level, I'd love to interview for the job. That's all I want. That's all I ask for in return. Here's my FSBO guide. Let me take a look at whatever you guys want. I'm here to help, right? That's what wins. And let's say you did that to 50 of them this week. Notice I didn't say one, okay? Because this is a job. This is a career. This takes work, energy, effort, right? So you go to 50 of them. If you went to 50 of them this week, give them the link to the FSBO guide, give them a link to your Moxie. Well, wait, but how would I find their phone number? It's on their freaking sign, right? And for some reason it's not, you've got forewarned, right, to find their phone number, and their cell phone number is sitting right there on their phone, on their sign out front. Hey, this is Jeff. Sorry I would try to knock on your door. You weren't home. I really want to introduce myself. One of the things I noticed you're doing, I really hope it works for yourself. Ultimately, let me just be honest. My job is I want to be your plan B if and when this doesn't help. But in the event it does work, I want to help you. Here's a link to a FSBO guide to give you some tips and tricks. Reach out. I'm going to keep coming back until I get to meet you face to face. You're in my neighborhood, blah, 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 vested interest, all the stuff Mike just said. Great, right? You video text 50 people this week. It's impossible not to have one of them be in the process of their move to hire somebody. Every one of them said, honey, if this doesn't work by blank, we're going to hire somebody. Now, here's the problem. They said they're going to hire Susie because it's the cousin of Frank who they play softball with, right? That's who's at the top of their mind right now because you haven't had a chance to impress them yet, right? So is there a Moxie Impress? Do you have a Moxie presentation? Do you have a FSBO guide? Do you have a way to know if they DISC, VAK? Do you know how to mirror and match? Do you know how to pay attention to them? Yes. And if you don't, go to the links and watch the classes to help you get better, right? But you got go to 50 of them this week.
Let's give one more angle to for sale by owners. One thing you could do as well is what do most for sale by owners tell agents who reach out to them? Bring me a buyer, I'll pay you, right? So what if we had a tool that you could go get a guaranteed cash offer and then shoot that video message and say, hey, listen, I've actually got an all cash investment buyer who's interested in the property. Can we chat, right? They're prepared to potentially make you an offer. And you shoot that message. Do you think you're going to get a reply? Yes. Do we have a guaranteed cash offer that we could present to them? Yes. Do we have a guaranteed cash offer that's even better than using an open door or offer pad because it is designed to force them to list the home with you first? Yes, we do. It's called RealSure. If you're not familiar with RealSure, look it up. So the process is simple. Take the address, go to realsure.com, log in, put the address in, and they will tell you if they will make an offer or not. And if they will give you a preliminary offer within 24 hours. Now, is that offer going to be max value? No, it's going to be about 15% on average, less than what they should get on the open market, but it's in a cash offer. And the way that the offer works is very simple. You can present that offer and that offer is guaranteed for 30 days. Now, they have to list it with you on the open market for 30 days. If they get a better offer, take it. If they don't, between 30 and 45 days after they've listed that home with you, if they still want to take that guaranteed original cash offer, they can. So the way to present that is, listen, we're going to set the floor, right? So now we have a price, we have an offer, And that sets the tone that you are not going any lower than this price, right? So we know we can only go up from here. Now I'm going to go to work for you. I'm going to do everything I possibly can to get you a higher offer, which I truly believe we will. But you can rest assured that you've got a guaranteed offer now. And we have the leverage that when other people come in that are interested in the home and say, hey, do you have any other offers? Yes, we do. We have an all cash offer on the table. Is that not a good negotiating tool? Right? And this is a tool designed to get you more listings. So I think to not use it in some capacity would be silly.
I got one more twist. I would go first to Home Partners website and see if this is an area that Home Partners is buying. Because if Mike was a FSBO, I'd say, hey, you're attracting to a market right now. It's a good size. I've got a market that's like triple the size of what you're working with right now. And I know it will work. I'd love to run the idea by you. Please give me a call when the time's right. And this is a video text in front of their house because I really wanted to talk to them face to face because that's where communication is best, right? So do you see what I'm saying? Because now you can put it on the market for rent too, and you're going to find a renter and their Home Partners is going to buy it, and you just double-sided your own FSBO. That's how you make cash, guys. Just like that, right? So there's that lane. Let's go to another one. How about, I like this one. This is the one that not a lot of people are using right now. The FSBO Plus, right? These are the guys that hired the Jack Kellers, the other MLS list with me for 199 BS crapola that's running around out there. And then when you look on MLS, you see a couple for certain fields. Seller not represented is a key, right? Because there's no agency relationship between that client and the brokerage. Seller not represented. So, and then the type of representation, seller not represented and limited service, right? So there's no agency and the seller's not represented. So if it's limited service and seller's not represented, then normally what's in the MLS? Their phone number, right? And if not, you got forewarned. Another way to talk to them, they're one step closer than a FSBO because they know agents are good. They just didn't want to pay one yet. So they're one step closer to that one. So there's another one to go prospect in that one. What else? Once you, let's say you exhaust, this is the order in which I would spend my week, by the way. And once you're never going to exhaust all the expired, you're never going to exhaust all the canceled, you're never going to exhaust all the withdrawal unconditionals, you're never going to exhaust all the limited service seller and our representatives. But let's say you did. I would go into Remind. You know I can't go a class without saying it. And I would go to the high sell scores first. And I would go into my map area and I'd see who's got a blue dot on them. And that blue dot would tell me that Bob and Mary Smith are over Maple Leaf Circle have something going on in their life that triggered an algorithm inside of Remind's back office that says something's going on with them. They're probably most likely to be selling next. That's a nice tool, right? And I'd call them and I'd knock on their door and I'd say, hey, it's Jeff, C21. Just curious, you know this market's necessary. Even a hypothetical chance you guys ever consider maybe selling this house, maybe possibly one day in the future, if the stars aligned and everything was perfect, maybe, right? And I'd have that conversation with them. And it would be funny. So funny you mentioned that. We're actually thinking about it. Wow, that's odd, right? No, it's called using data analytics because you're a smart business person, right? And I'd go to every blue dot that's in your marketplace that lives there. That's a homestead. That's really ready to move. And then, you know where I would go next? I would go to the high sales score absentee owners that don't live here that have an extra piece of property. That's it, right? Now there's 100 other things we could go do also, but why? Why would you make life any harder than it is right now? Then, right? I mean, what would you do? I mean, literally, step by step checklist. Hit them, hit them, hit them, hit them. Go, 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 go until you get one. That's what it takes, right? So that's what we wanted to hit today. Was super contextual, super no BS. This is how you get a listing this week. Right? There's nothing else. Nothing else can happen. What's the only thing that can get in the way is your excuses as to why you can't do that today. And then that means you're just interested, you're not committed. Right?
Yep.
What do you have in wrapping up there, sir?
No, I mean that you hit it. You hit the nail on the head. We've given you tactical things to go and do. So the only reason you will not do it is because you do not need to, and you're not committed to it. And if you can figure out what will cause you to get committed to it, you will go do it. You will crush it. You will get at least one, maybe more listings by the end of the week.
Your pipeline is huge. Like,
And
Puma,
for all of you
if,
that do, shoot me and Jeff an email. Let us know when you hit that first listing of the week, because I'm curious. But I think we're going to get quite a few emails from you guys that says, "Yep, got one," and I'm curious, but you got to get committed to it right now. You got to go do it.
And then here's the beautiful thing: if you go to 50 of them, any of them that we just talked to this week, commit to 50 of them, guys. Get out, get committed, get to work, right? So I'm going to talk to at least 50 of these people this week. Find the time. You got it. You have the time. Reorganize yourself in order to do it. If you hit 50 of any of these, not only are you going to get a listing, you're going to have a sick ass pipeline for the one for next week and next month and the month after that, which means you're in business. And the reason we want you to get a listing is because that's the only way you get in business, guys, in this business. You find a buyer, whoop-de-doo. You're cruising around in the cloak of darkness and your car is sucking down gas, shuffling them into somebody else's listing so they get paid and you did all the work. Ooh, that's a great business model, right? No, you go get a listing, you get your sign up so you can do the open house event, so you can do the Facebook targeting, so you can go out there and do circle prospecting. So you are actually the person that can talk about this and have your open house attract you people that want to buy your property, and you can show the neighborhood that you're good at what you do, right? This is the time, guys, to get it going, to go put the energy in this week, get hot, get exhausted, go to bed exhausted, wake up and do it again. Right? Do it again until it works, right? That's until you do it till. And then really email us and let me know how this is working. I really want to hear about it. I know Mike does too. And then if you have anything missing, any motivation lacking, any why not clear, you need some leverage, you need some accountability, please hit your manager up. Like right now, shoot them a text and saying, I need help. And then they will 100% grab time today and help you get clear on your why. And then there's nothing in the way. There's absolutely nothing. You got the best brand, you got the best market, you got the best tools and systems, leadership team, everything's sitting right there. So this is the time to go crush it, guys. This is it. This is the moment that will decide whether or not you're going to be a success, true success, and get to the next level of your life. That's that. So happy Monday, buddy.
No excuses. Go get it.
What kind of week we're going to have?
Best week ever.
And who gets to decide it?
We do.
All right, guys. Have a wonderful day.
See you guys.